I remember being 3 years old and being at my grandma's house and standing on this workbench that she had in her workroom with some Singer sewing machines. And I remember standing on top of it with a microphone in my hand and pretending to speak to a large crowd. And I just knew, I had this conviction in my heart that I just knew that I would be using my voice and speaking to a large crowd someday.
The greatest desire of my heart, my dream, as far back as I can remember, was to be a wife and a mom.
About 9 years ago, God made it abundantly clear to me that His dream for my life was to become a stay-at-home mom. Now, the truth is that the thought of having one income as opposed to two incomes really scared me. But I know that God is awesome and He would provide excellently. Before long, He provided my husband with an awesome job opportunity with excellent pay. And I was on my journey to being a stay-at-home mom, living off of one income.
My dream is to be a mom. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a mom.
For as long as I can remember, I've dreamed of being a mom and having a family of my own. On December 17th, 1987, that dream became a reality when our daughter Rachel was born. 7 years and 3 sons later, our family was complete.
I remember being 5 years old and my mum and dad got divorced. And my mum couldn't take care of me, so she placed me and my two brothers in foster care and had to share a bedroom with 5 boys, and actually had to share a bed with one of those boys who was quite a bit older. And I ended up being sexually abused every single day for the year that I was there. And then when I got older, when I was like 9, my brother ended up doing the same thing. And I felt like my words didn't matter anymore.
Disaster struck 9 years ago. I became very ill. Doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. I could no longer remember places. I could no longer remember how to do many functions. It was scary. It was a very scary time in my life. I went an entire year untreated and undiagnosed.
4 years into staying at home with my children, disaster struck. One of my biggest fears had become reality. My husband had lost his job, and with his loss of job, we lost our income, all of our retirement, all of our savings, we lost our home, and ultimately, we had to file for bankruptcy.
The disaster came when me and my husband started trying to have kids and we didn't get pregnant. We have been trying for several years and we still have not gotten pregnant.
Disaster happened the morning that I got the call that our son had gone missing as he dove into a wave at Nag's Head. The next 2 years were filled with grief, confusion, and frustration.
Through the grace, through the love that was given to me by knowing who Jesus Christ is and knowing who I am in Him, I was able to break free from the oppression and the things that had kept me captive for so long. And I do use my voice to offer hope and encouragement to others, to add value to those who need it. And I can use my voice by sharing my testimony.
And I'll never forget the conversation that I had with God, that if the way things were and how I was how He could get the most glory from my life, that moment I surrendered. God used my Lyme disease to give me a deeper love for Him but also a compassionate heart for others. Through my disaster, He made me a better wife and mom, my destiny.
Through the entire time and all of the stress that I experienced through our circumstances, God really showed me that ultimately His destiny for my life was to really trust Him more, to really keep my focus on Him, and to not live my life based on my circumstances, my emotions, or even by what I saw before me, but to really truly trust in the reality that He is an awesome God, and that He is mighty to save and is our awesome provider.
God has called us to walk into the destiny of parenthood through adoption. We're adopting a little boy from Ethiopia, and our joy and journey is just beginning.
Although the destiny to motherhood didn't turn out the way I had planned, God does bring beauty from ashes. I've learned that I can trust Him because He's shown Himself to be faithful to me time and time again throughout my life. Our son Brian surrendered his heart to the Lord only 3 short months before God called him home. And God has used that story to bring many others to Himself, growing beauty from the ashes of our grief.